of the work you've done, of our profession, of the relationships you've formed, of rich collaborations with other people, but most of all, of the passion we all share. Celebration of the future of midwifery we're building for ourselves, and the future lives that we're influencing in our work. But it is a time also for thinking about our pathway overcoming days, weeks, months and years, and the challenges we face. I've been your president for 2 years and 8 months. I've travelled to all parts of the UK. I've met many midwives and others involved in maternity care, talking to you in health services, universities, public places, and through social media. I visited many other parts of the world, and I've travelled many, many thousands of miles, met hundreds of people, and have learned so much from the journey. First, I want to tell you just how much you have to be proud of. Despite the intense pressure you're all working under, with care more complex than it's ever been, with too few resources, working beyond capacity, with too few midwives, you are not only providing good care, but also developing new services. I want to give you just a few examples of what I've seen. In an obstetric unit, a senior midwife working in partnership with a senior doctor has reduced the induction rate. In another obstetric unit, midwives providing care for women with complex medical needs work with medical staff to help women achieve a vaginal birth. A birth centre where I heard from women and their partners what it meant to them to have a supported vaginal birth after cesarean section. A service that provides continuity of care for vulnerable women, and home birth services enabling that relationship of knowing and trust that means so much to women and to midwives. A freestanding birth centre where the pride and commitment to the philosophy was clear in everyone's words, from senior midwives to the cleaner. There was a watering can on the edge of the birth pools, and that watering can was for pouring water over the woman's or back or abdomen during a contraction. I saw this as a potent symbol of caring. Special services for external cephalic version, for obstetrical anal sphincter injury, for vaginal birth after caesarean section. And throughout the UK, many birth centres where I saw the advocacy that's used by midwives to help women have a good birth, and the kind of autonomy and agency that the midwives in those services feel. The care is definitely enhanced in that setting. Especially through Twitter, I'm part of a vibrant community of information and idea sharing and support. Did you know that you can be presented with a beautiful inscribed cup of tea in a tweet? I received my own individual virtual teacup not long ago. And of course we'll not get anywhere without being political. And what could be more political than the midwife who was invited to meet the Prime Minister David Cameron after a highly innovative campaign to ensure that babies were given skin-to-skin contact after birth by caesarean section. Many of you will know the Banksy of midwifery, and she has a poster here. At the International Confederation of Midwives, that I've now attended over a number of years, I'm always inspired by the kind of work that midwives do in the most adverse circumstances. And this year in Prague, I went to a meeting of the Asian Midwifery Societies, where I heard the president of one of the midwifery associations from one of the parts of the world where women are most oppressed by the Taliban, saying that she felt that midwifery focuses on the need to improve the status of women. Such brave words. At each and every visit, I've been uplifted and inspired by what I've seen. There are almost 1,000 midwives and student midwives here during the course of this conference. and our student midwives who are here in huge numbers are managing the challenging demands of coursework and clinical placements, as well as family life, and are developing student societies and setting a very high bar for learning communities. These students are real leaders. They're innovative, they're challenging, they're committed. Many have been hugely supportive to me. We face real challenges for the future. Some of those challenges are profound. I'm thinking about what the student conference has learned from Udon today, of the abyss we face if we do not change. For the workplace reps, our first ever strike action, while maintaining safe services and making an impact on employers and government, has earned public sympathy and is crucial to the future of our profession. I'm very proud of the way you have all handled this situation. But for a moment, I just want to concentrate on how proud I've been to represent you, to represent the Royal College of Midwives, to speak for midwifery and about midwifery. I couldn't be any prouder. Now, though, we need to learn from our successes and build on them to spread them to all women. Midwifery associations, like the Royal College of Midwives, are crucial to the work that lies ahead of us. From my travels, I have a very clear view of what happens in countries where there isn't enough care, and on the other hand, in countries with extreme rates of intervention, extremely dehumanized care, where midwifery as a profession has been lost. I've learned just how important established midwifery is. And this conference is where we see midwives, midwifery, and the Royal College of Midwives at its best. We've already heard some excellent presentations today and have more to look forward to tomorrow. It's been great to hear from both the chosen entrants to the abstract competition and from winners of our annual awards. I'm really looking forward to the next awards ceremony on 3rd of March. I would like to thank everyone who's put forward papers, judged the entries, and has come to share their work with us. I would also like to thank all the managers, LMEs, and RCM branches who have enabled delegates to come to the conference, and of course all the organisations, charities and companies who provided sponsorship, especially the Royal College of Midwives Alliance partners, Johnson's Baby, Mother Care, Philips Avent, Slimming World, and Vitabiotics Pregnant Care. Most of all, thank you all for making this conference unique. I've learned lots of other life skills as your president. How to pack a little lighter, but I'm not nearly as good as Kathy, which is something to aspire to. How to manage jet lag, how to work on crowded trains, how to make a lot of Facebook friends without being banned from Facebook. I'll go down in history as the president who was banned for 2 weeks from Facebook for making too many friends at once, and I was actually threatened with being banned for life. I've also learned how to write a key message in the 140 characters of a tweet. I'm still not genetically modified. You know, I think that there are some who are genetically modified to use their thumbs very quickly. I'm not quite that good. Recently, I was talking about my travels to an acquaintance, and I'd just come back from a trip to New Zealand, where I worked with the Royal College of Midwives, spoke at their conference, went out with midwives, saw how they practice, learned a huge amount. And the acquaintance said to me, "It sounds so glamorous." Well, I paused and thought. I'd just come back on a flight that was never ending, that stopped everywhere in the world, in which half of the toilets on the plane, actually 3/4, were blocked. Oh. I was in the middle of 2 seats. One was a guy with very high BMI and very heavy BO. On my left-hand side was a guy who who started to jiggle his legs the minute we took off, who kept on jabbing at his mobile phone, and who chanted constantly. Well, I started to get really nervous. And I kept thinking about mobile phones blowing up bombs, and then I convinced myself that I was being over-anxious. And I convinced myself that I was really being over-anxious. And what should I do? Should I get the flight attendant? So anyway, the midwife in me came out, and I turned to him and I said, "Sir, are you all right?" And he said, "What do you mean, am I all right?" And I said, "Well, you seem really agitated." And he said to me, "But I'm just chanting." So anyway, I felt really badly that I'd interrupted his chanting. But nevertheless, even with these long flights in economy, I wouldn't change it for the world. The richness of having learned about midwifery in New Zealand, having been there, having seen midwives in practice, I couldn't replace it with anything. It's not all work. It's quite hard work, but it's fun too. I danced samba for a whole night recently in a nightclub in Rio, to the extent that Jane Sandal had to give me painkillers the next day. I was stuck in the 7th floor of a hotel during a tsunami warning. We hadn't been able to get any food, and there were 8 of us who'd got together, people from the United States and the UK and other countries, and all we had to eat were cornflakes and bottles of wine to drink. So we stopped worrying about the tsunami and got to know each other really well. In Russia, I spent about 6 days in the woods outside of St. Petersburg. And we kept telling everyone that in the United Kingdom, the government policy is that women should have the choice for home birth. Well, you would have thought that I had created this myself. They kept saying, "Are you sure the government allows women home birth?" And every time I said this, they hugged me and kissed me. I did a Russian sauna, boiling hot steam, freezing cold water, and it has to be total immersion. Leslie, your head has to go right under. And to cap it all, I did a conga led by a Russian Orthodox priest. This will all go in my autobiography. Well, to be serious, I've learned that we've come a long way, but we've got a lot further to go to build a better future. Each one of us will contribute to this better future in different ways. One thing is certain, we can't support a status quo. A better future for all will require busting myths, lighting up blind spots, changing the way we do things, making sure we can play our full part. It will require that we tip the balance, change the game, support transformative change. It will need courage and commitment. We will all need courage, the courage to see things clearly and to make profound changes. Profound changes that will come not only from big grand changes, but also from apparently small acts. I want to finish with the words of Emma Watson. Emma, you will all remember, was one of the stars of the Harry Potter movies. She is now ambassador of the He/She campaign to reduce gender inequalities. In finding the courage to give her speech to the United Nations and to step up to the role, when she kept thinking to myself, who am I to do this? She used the words, if not now, when? If not me, who? If not now, when? When will we give women continuity of care? When will we reduce the cesarean section rate? When will we give midwives their full part to play for all women? If not me, who? If not me, who is a person who helps a woman avoid an induction of labour that she doesn't want, or gives support to a woman who is frightened during labour, who will do it? If not now, when? If not me, who? Such simple questions give us the courage to act. So tomorrow the now will have come, and each one of you will be the me who will need the courage to challenge and create a better future.